Hey, Ron here from Military Images Magazine with a new episode of Life on the Civil War Research Trail. I'm a big fan of memoirs written by veterans who participated in the Civil War. What they have to say about their experiences, particularly when they reveal their emotions as part of a battle or other major event that touched their lives during their service, is of interest to me. One of those writers, a particularly gifted writer, is pictured here. His name is George Forrester Williams. I've spoke about him once before on a previous episode. He gets his start in New York City as a compositor in the New York Times, writes a breaking news story when the editor goes home for the evening. Here's a guy that works in the typesetting department, is writing a story. His enthusiasm and ambition catches the attention of the editor. George gets promoted to a reporter the next day. All this happens before the war. So his career is on the rise. When he gets into the Civil War, when the war begins, he sets aside his pen, picks up a musket, and joins the 5th New York Infantry, known as Dirty Zouaves, and goes off to war with his soldiers. He later writes his memoirs, which is called Bullet and Shell. It's a great, great story about his experiences, and I recommend it to you. You can find it easily on Google Books or archive.org. The book is published in 1882, and it has several endorsements in the beginning. And one of them I was surprised to find comes from General William T. Sherman, who feels very much like I do, although he comes at it from a different way. Here's what Sherman has to say about Williams's book. Dear sir, I am always glad when anyone, officer or soldier, records in his own words what he did or saw, how he felt, and any fair inference therefrom, in battle or in war, which would illustrate the history of the time and prove serviceable to his successors. Such appears to be your book, and must be of inestimable value to others who may be called upon in the next war. There's Sherman looking forward to or suggesting the next war, which would have been the Spanish-American War. At any rate, the book gets rave reviews, and one of the many passages that captured my attention is Williams talking about the day before the eve of battle, Big Bethel. They're in Virginia. The 5th New York has recently moved from the city down to Virginia, and they are about to engage Confederate troops for the first time. So I want to read to you this passage just to give you a sense of where Williams and his comrades were mentally at this point in time. So here we go. Midnight came at last, when word was passed from tent to tent for the several companies to form. The order was obeyed with alacrity. It was as dark as pitch when we entered the main road, not even the stars being visible, while the knowledge that we were going into battle made the movement all the more strange and thrilling. It being our first experience in real work, the sense of danger nerved every heart. We had not yet attained the coolness of veterans, but feeling brave and confident, we obeyed this summons to battle with enthusiasm. Stumbling along in open columns, we pushed on through the darkness silently but eagerly until, after a 2 hours' march, we were led into a bit of woods on the right of the road and ordered to lie down. As we did so, I began wondering what the result of the approaching engagement would be. Here I lay, musket in hand, among men of whose existence I had been ignorant a few short weeks before. And as I stretched my tired body on the soft and fragrant earth, I realized the grim earnestness of the situation. In a few hours, I might be among the dead, lying motionless on the battlefield, or groaning in an ambulance, sick with the pain and loss of blood. Yet a strange feeling of content rested upon me, and though we were all nervous over the suspense, I noticed no symptoms of cowardice. Few of us spoke even in whispers, for silence had been strictly enjoined, and the absence of all sound among so many men was to me more painful to bear than any actual fighting could possibly be. So there you have it, a wonderful passage from Bullet and Shell by George Forrester Williams, talking about his emotions and how everyone around him in the 5th New York Infantry felt as they were laying down, waiting that horribly long wait before going into the unknowns of the battle for the first time. Hope you find this as interesting and intriguing as I do. So take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time on the trail.